Welcome to Cycle Your Heart Out, a podcast to help you ride home to your true self. I'm Sarah, and I'm so glad you're here with me. In today's episode, I'll be talking about something that I get asked quite a lot, which is, what is heartful cycling? It's actually one of my favorite questions, so I'm really looking forward to answering it and also sharing what led me to create Cycle Your Heart Out in 2011. If you're in need of a bit of calm right now, I hope that today's episode gives you some space to breathe. I used to long for a vacation from my mind and a mute button on my sensitivity. Owned by fear and a stranger in my own skin, I'd become so focused on finding love that I'd lost sight of my entire inner world, which had been crumbling the whole time. Unaware and living life on autopilot, I was convinced this was perfectly normal. I thought it was normal to have constant stomach pains, to have chronic anxiety, to feel overwhelmed and stressed, to be a people pleaser, to be stuck in toxic relationships, and to have no clue what I wanted in life. Fed up and in desperate need of change, I decided to explore the world and rediscover who I really was. It was while I was traveling and working around Asia and Australia in 2009 that I fell in love. I fell in love with cycling and painting. Rare moments of peace would occur between paint strokes in my sketchbook and riding solo in nature. It was this trip that helped change my whole outlook on life. Working at an international children's charity in England, my desire to give back and get others cycling continued to grow. I began to wonder if I could somehow use my creativity to help leave a positive trail on the earth. I was riding home from work one day thinking about what I could paint on other than paper and canvas when it suddenly hit me. Cycle your heart out around the world, my soul whispered. Your wheels can be your paint, the world can be your canvas, and the shape can be a heart. So I did. Barcelona, Rio, Amsterdam, Paris, London. I traveled the globe creating heart-shaped bicycle routes, a journey that gave me the freedom to unleash my creativity and set the wheels in motion on my path to inner peace. Each heart route led me to discover more about my true self. It was during these quiet, blissful moments that my heart would speak to me, enabling me to see that the love I'd been searching for had been inside me all along. In 2011, I trained as a breeze ride leader with British Cycling to help get more people riding across England. I rode with many inspiring people, including TV presenter Gethin Jones and world record holder Sean Conway. Sean was getting ready to break the record for cycling around the world, so I invited him on a heart route in Milton Keynes to raise awareness for his ambitious adventure. Over the years, I became fascinated by how much of a positive impact heart-shaped cycling was having on myself and others, so decided to devour books and courses on mindfulness and the breath. In February 2017, I'd finished cycling a heart route in Barcelona and was reading a book by Jon Kabat-Zinn. He talked about how mindfulness can also be called heartfulness, because in the Asian language, the word for mind and heart is the same. Suddenly, it all started to make sense, and finally put a name to what I'd been doing this whole time. Heartful cycling had been my moving meditation, and my high sensitivity was in fact my biggest gift. Heartful cycling empowers you to embrace the present moment and ride home to your true self. It helps you listen to your heart with deep compassion, allowing your love to spin out from under you onto all of those around you. With a newfound appreciation for the present moment, my creativity started to flow. With zero experience in writing poetry, words suddenly started spinning out of me, leading me to self publish my first book in 2021. The more I performed my poems on stage, the more I realized how many of them referred to the breath and coming home. It literally took my breath away, learning how common dysfunctional breathing is and how much it's linked to anxiety and stress. Realizing I'd been a shallow breather with anxiety for most of my life, I started to see why riding my bike had been so beneficial. Cycling is incredible at boosting deep diaphragmatic belly breathing and balancing our nervous system. It gave me clarity on why I'd always feel so much calmer and clearer after riding, and helped me to understand the phrase follow your heart at a deeper level. Heartful cycling is a beautiful blend of intention setting, meditation, heartfulness, and conscious breathing. After living in Barcelona for almost a decade, I decided to listen to my heart in 2022 and return to England with my dog Maya. At the time of recording, I've created almost 50 heart routes in 11 countries. I love teaching and empowering people to become heartful cyclists too. My goal is to create a ripple effect for a more heartful, loving world. I'd like to share a poem from my 47th heart route in Paris. It's called The Ride Home. Ride until past pain softens and future frets fade, until your ocean breath returns and your saddle feels like home. Ride with no real plan, to feed your soul, to find freedom, to get back on the path of yours and no one else's. Today's inner ride question is, what is your heart longing for? What is your heart longing for? And lastly, what one tiny step can you take towards it today? What one tiny step can you take towards it today? If you want, you can pause this to have more time. I have a question a listener posted on my last episode, which was, where will your next ride take place? Thanks so much for asking, Kate. I'd actually really love to create heart routes in Australia, as it's where I fell in love with cycling. I also have family living there too, and I really miss them. I'm so grateful for you being here and listening to today's episode. If you feel inspired to get riding and are interested in becoming a heartful cyclist, visit me at cycleyourheartout.com to download your free ride meditation and find out more about my online course. If you know anyone in your community that may enjoy hearing this episode, please feel free to share it with them. To end today's episode, I'd love to invite you to take some deep, calming breaths with me. So wherever you are, just take a moment to make sure that you're comfortable. I invite you to either soften your gaze or gently close your eyes. Relaxing your shoulders, your face, your entire body. And if you're able to, you can place your hand on your stomach. And now take a nice deep breath in through the nose and notice your stomach rising. And as you breathe out, nice and slow, notice your stomach fall, similar to the ocean waves. And again, take a deep breath in through your nose and really slowly out through your mouth. As you continue, just noticing again your belly rising on the inhale and falling on the slow exhale. I'll do a few together now with you. And you can now continue breathing this way for as long as you want. My wish for you is love. So much love that it spins out from under you onto all of those around you. Your wheels are your paints, and the world is your canvas.